Consumer prices here in the country remained relatively stable in November as easing petroleum prices served to temper overall inflation. Our correspondent Moon Hye-ryeon has details.
Consumer price inflation continued to ease in November, with the inflation rate remaining in the 1% range for 3 consecutive months. According to data released by Statistics Korea on Tuesday, the country's consumer price index for last month rose by 1.5% compared to the same month last year. The slowdown in inflation was largely attributed to a significant drop of over 5% in petroleum prices, which helped bring down the overall figure. However, vegetable prices remained volatile as they surged by more than 10%. Prices of specific vegetables such as radish, squash and cucumber saw particularly sharp rises.
After a sharp 15.6% increase in October due to poor harvests and unfavorable weather conditions, vegetable prices eased to a 10.4% rise in November. While still elevated, the situation has improved significantly from the previous months.
On a more positive note, the index for fresh food items, often referred to as tabletop prices, rose by 0.4%, marking the lowest increase since March 2022. Additionally, the index, which tracks everyday expenses, also remained relatively stable, with a rise of 1.6%, while core inflation showed a rise of 1.9%. Despite the persistent rise in vegetable prices, the overall inflation rate has continued to stabilize, offering some relief amid ongoing economic uncertainty. The inflation rate fell below 3% in April and remained within the 2% range for 5 months. In September, inflation dropped further to 1.6% and has stayed in the 1% range for 3 months straight. Looking ahead, the Ministry of Economy and Finance announced on Tuesday that it expects the inflation rate to stay within the 2% range and pledged to continue its efforts to stabilize the rise in consumer prices. Last week, the government extended the fuel tax cut until the end of February next year to ease the burden of fuel and heating costs during the winter. It also confirmed that the allocated tariff for LNG will be maintained at 0 until March to ensure affordable energy supplies. The government also plans to extend the allocated tariff quota on radishes and carrots until the end of February next year, and continue the tariff quota on various ingredients such as cocoa beans, coffee, and orange concentrate. Moon Hye-ryeon, Arirang News.